All right, y'all, we back. Episode 14 from the Life Skills TTP series, Finding Your Inner Light, Your Path to Self-Worth. And today we're going to talk about taking advantage of your opportunities. And my opportunities, I found out through my journey, are time sensitive. Mine are time sensitive. And I'm going to go over a few opportunities that I had, some that I took advantage of, some that I missed. And we're going to start off. In life, opportunities come and go, often presenting themselves in unexpected forms. The ability to recognize, seize, and maximize these opportunities can be profoundly impacted on our personal and professional trajectories. Taking advantage of opportunities is not merely about luck. It involves a proactive mindset, preparation, and a willingness to take risks. And I'm a risk taker. But when I was younger, I was backwards and I didn't understand my opportunities. One of the opportunities that altered and changed my life is I got into some trouble. It's going to be a theme on this show. In my past, I got into some trouble. And after I got into this trouble, I was offered an opportunity to go to boot camp, a Marine boot camp, expunge my record, start clean. And so I took advantage of the opportunity. Went to the Marine boot camp out there in Area 51, passed. I actually liked it. When I came back, I was probably as black as this screen. I was about 185 pounds, 190 pounds. I wasn't that small since high school, so when I got back home, I was shocked at the fact that I was even that small. And I completed it, and the conditions were not to get in any trouble, go into the military, everything will be good. But I didn't take advantage of my opportunity. I decided, I was home for a couple of weeks. I got bored. I hadn't drank for like 6 months or so, got bored, thought maybe, hey, I can have a beer. Long story short, the beer ended up into me getting into something, getting in contact with the police. Long story short, I had to go do 2 years. Now, all of this stuff is self-inflicted because I didn't take advantage of my opportunity. I know that now. Then, when you're young, you just think, oh, whatever. Whatever. And like me, I think opportunities are a gift. They're mine. I can use them whenever I want. And throughout my life, I realized when I was presented with the opportunity, because a lot of times I was presented with stuff that would take me away from all that nonsense, all that evil stuff. And for some reason, the alcohol kept me backwards and say, oh, no. You know what they trying to do, man. And then that comes with mental health. And then as you get sicker and you compile these things in this non-reality like I did, I don't even know what my opportunities were. So that opportunity for me changed my life immensely because I ended up having a record. I didn't have to have a record. And so when people talk and they like say how they target people and they do certain things like that, that's true. I'm targeted the same way. It ain't nothing. But I was also given opportunities to actually do the right thing, get on the right path, and have a successful life and not be caught up in stuff that is going to be detrimental to me. So I did not take advantage of that opportunity. It changed and altered my life. And at the time, when I came back, it was 2 weeks. My son came to get me. I'll rewind back. I had my first child, my first son, in 1990. 1990, I was supposed to graduate in 1988. Well, I didn't graduate because, I was one of those. I didn't graduate, so now I didn't graduate. I had my first child, and I ain't got no high school diploma. So the jobs and the opportunities that I had were slim to none because they could always use, hey, did you graduate high school? And so I didn't really take advantage of that opportunity. I say that because I'm split on this because when I went to the Marine boot camp, they asked me if I had my high school diploma. I said, no. And they said, well, you get your GED? I said, yeah. He said, well, we ain't gonna put you in the class. Let's just take the pretest. You pass the pretest, we'll sign you up so you can take the test to get your GED. So I did that. So I did take advantage of that opportunity, but I screwed my life up because I could have just went. Actually, now that I'm thinking, if I was smart, I could have just went in there, got discharged, my record would have been clean and all of that. But at the time, I wasn't thinking like that. And I didn't take advantage of that opportunity. When you're dealing with opportunities, you got to be open-minded. And you have to embrace change. You have to embrace change. And don't worry about the expectations. And because the expectations will take you in a different direction. Because if I would have completed that, my life would have been completely different. And that was a missed opportunity for me. And that's the only one I'm going to talk about. I'm not really into just repeatedly talking about negative stuff because I'm so far removed from that. I'm in reality. I'm not in a non-reality, so I understand everything that's going on. And speaking of opportunities, my son will be 34 in November. About 10, 11 years ago, he moved out of California. After he got out of nursing school, did his thing, moved out of California, moved to North Dakota 10 years ago. He understood taking advantage of your opportunity. And what I understood is when you're older, you're a father, or you're an elder, and you think that you can't learn something from younger people, I learned something from my son. He knew something that I didn't. Because it took me longer to leave than him. Once I guess he watched me and figured out, and I appreciate that. And I was like, man. And so I listened to the young fellas, because some of them do got some good insight and some things that are relevant for today. Because a lot of them are hooked up in tech and, they know what time it is. Another opportunity that I could say I took advantage of was my dad. He's a retired electrician. And when they were building Thunder Valley Casino, he has connections. And at the time I was living in Sacramento, he hooked me up with the job out there. Opportunity. And, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. And I did. But when I went out there, I realized, I said, hey, we got to wait till we put the sheetrock up. So I got certified in rough terrain forklift, which is the ones that dump the dumpsters. I was picking up scraps, and I'm a systems person. So anytime I go into something, I understand how it should work, what it should do, and what pieces to put together. And so my company that I was working for, I would come around, pick up all their scraps, clean it up. I had this whole system going. And while I was doing it, this other foreman was yelling at me, hey, come over here. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, hey, come over here. I'm like, I said, I don't even work for you. Right? I'm trying to be open-minded, but I don't work for you. And then he just kept saying something. I ignored him, went on. He said something. I said, dude. And so I kept doing what I was doing. What it was, he seen how efficient and stuff we were. And instead of communicating with me, social communication, instead of actually coming to me and say, hey, why don't, and we work something out with that, he, like most people do when I show up somewhere, he act like he's standing over me and telling me, hey, da-da-da-da-da. So later on, My boss hits me up. We putting in the sheetrock. We go around. He tells me, hey, you got to have tough skin. I said, tough skin? What does tough skin got to do with a person socially interacting with you correctly, not telling you what you do? We all grown men here. So he was like, come on, John, man, you had tough skin. But I took advantage of the opportunity, and I just really didn't want to deal with a lot of the stuff that was going on. But that's one opportunity that I took advantage of. The second one I took advantage of, I got in trouble again. You know, it's a common theme. I can't stop drinking. I'm in trouble again. I don't really understand my opportunities. I'm all mixed up backwards. So I had an opportunity, and these things, you got to realize, these things they're throwing at me, they don't think I'm going to do. Let's be honest. They don't think I'm going to do any of this stuff. It's really done to destroy and crush a brother. But because I'm on this quest in life to figure out what's going on, I said, yeah. And it was the best situation I could be in. It was the best decision I made. And I ended up getting certified to be a wildland firefighter. I was working for CAL FIRE. I was in Humboldt County for about 3.5 years, almost 4 years. I loved it. I would have stayed there. I also realized that there's giants, the redwood trees, 200-300 feet. I spent a lot of time out there in that environment. And if you've been in that environment, you know there were some big people. But that's a whole different thing. We talking about opportunities. And so I go, and it's a 5-mile hike, right? The test is a 5-mile hike straight up and come down. So I'm on the second lap, and one of the dudes I know, because I was going fast, I was about third. He said, John, he said, you ain't gonna make it. I said, what? He said, you ain't making it. You moving too fast, man. We got like 5 miles. Straight up, but we keep going up and coming down. So I listened to him, because if I don't take advantage of this opportunity comes with time. And so I listen, because I'm that type of individual. I don't think I know everything. I'm learning every day. So I listened, and I passed. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life, because it changed my life, because it made me understand what's really going on. Because a lot of times when you're in a different reality that ain't real, you'll never know. And so today is all about that. Taking advantage of your opportunities. My opportunities are time sensitive. My opportunities, I think, are a gift. Open them up anytime I want. Oh. And I got one more opportunities. And this one was a limo company. I'm driving Uber and Lyft. I'm picking this guy up. I take him to the airport. He tells me, hey, man, you know that the limo service is hiring, man. He shoots me the card and everything. And I'm like, yeah. I know they make $150, $200 tips a day. And so he hooks me up. I call him. He said, yeah, come on in for the interview. I go in the interview. I come in somewhat like this. I had on a short sleeve shirt and a Argyle sweater vest, nerd shit. Argyle. I'm thinking I'm fly. I'm casual. I got canvas shoes on. I'm casual. I'm not thinking nothing. But I wasn't really thinking. And I wasn't really trying to take advantage of my opportunities, because of limo companies, the way they dress. Suit, tie, that kind of attire. It's corny. It could be even cheap suit, or whatever. But that's the requirement. And I don't know why I was thinking like that, but back then I was. That's just how it was. I was just like, oh, man, my driving record's clean. I don't have to worry about that. And so we go through the interview. I look at the other guys. They don't seem like, you know, they're overly dressed or whatever like that. But they do have on that tie and that white shirt. And that's the theme I kept looking around seeing. I was like, damn. And so from that moment, I knew I was at a disadvantage. And my energy and everything was like that because I knew, because of the expectations, that I might fall short. And I did. And so this is what I'm going to tell you about taking advantage of your opportunities and dressing properly. Not everybody can show up to an interview the way they want. And I know at some point in time, interviews started becoming casual. Nobody cared, and this, and that is complete nonsense. They care. I know because I went to many, and a few of them didn't pan out because I did not have the proper attire on, and they're not going to tell you that. See, they're gonna use everything they can. Okay, check. Oh, and so you have to know that. You have to know that. You got to take advantage of your opportunities. You got to be open-minded. And you got to research everything about that job or whatever situation that you're going into, because it will do you justice. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. You know, this is short. Anytime you're talking about job stuff, especially right now, the job market, the situation thing is tough. What I can tell you, there is a lot of jobs in mental health. I'm gonna do some videos. I'm gonna shoot some links for some things, some of the new criteria for mental health, so the peer specialist, and some things like that. And that way, so you can take advantage of that opportunity. I didn't. My opportunities, I told you, were time sensitive. Did not know it at the time. I also thought that my opportunities were a gift. I can open them anytime I want, and it's complete nonsense. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today.